Hola, bon dia, good nacht, good afternoon. My name is Tom Calloway. I'm going to talk about optimizing software delivery on the fly for teams and individuals. We exist on and can't escape from a constantly advancing timeline. We're forced to prioritize now versus later, and it can't all be now. We might do our best in a deep workflow, but by its nature, we become unconscious of time passing. Our minds imagine more than we could ever do, and though visions form in an instant, to enact them, we are forced to build them linearly, sequentially along a timeline. After we extrude a specification into existence through sheer force of will, our castle in the sky appears, but it takes steady, long-term effort. This Kanban app, as in Kanban with more fiber, includes a game that substantiates benchmarks and illustrates some of the optimizations that it attempts on team processes. This is an example. We can't keep starting tasks as a way to overcome whatever is our current inherently limited capacity. Some teams use tools that are highly optimized for their profession, which helps optimize that part of the overall process for delivering business value, but it doesn't encompass the whole system boundary of the organization, so it excludes other participants, and that means that it will be suboptimal. Elixir is built on Erlang, and Erlang is named for Agner Erlang, the founder of queuing theory, which is a branch of operations research. So we have a legacy here. So the Kanban web app is designed to help organizations and individuals measure, maximize, experiment with, and predict their work. Aggregation of tasks into towering projects is not the only way. An alternative is to adopt an experimental portfolio value approach. I definitely recommend Teresa Torres there at the bottom and her continuous discovery habits. It brings together product and engineering in a nice way, and uses a tree structure to break down and communicate and show the connections between hypotheses and outcomes. And that's what I try to express here in this way of capturing a backlog. Work composition and work process are destiny in terms of your output, your production. This is an example of, on the left, listing the stages in your process, and on the right, starting to include some more variables that typically are not present, specializations of actors in your process. Every time someone has several choices, there's a significant probability that they made a non-optimal choice for the process as a whole, simply because they don't have granular visibility into the whole system. We might think we're playing checkers or backgammon when we're actually playing Go. Kanban is not necessarily the answer, but it is a means to find your answers for your team and your data. Here is assigning the skills to individual actors so the system can match them up for stages they're eligible for. In theory, there's no difference between theory and practice, but in practice there is. A web framework comparison where years ago I looked at program size for the real world app, commonly implemented in back-end, full stack, and front-end frameworks because I was trying to choose one. And this is the relative sizes of several front-end frameworks that I looked at after standardizing by removing comments, et cetera. Vastly different differences. Okay, 1 minute, I'm gonna speed through this. Any measured value includes a world in it, accounting for all the phenomena affecting it, even the ones we're ignorant of and don't yet understand. It's the only way to align all of our hypotheses, deductions, beliefs, mental models, and simulations. We can create telemetry for our own execution. Just like with Elixir, we create spans. Our Kanban boards can be actually more interesting and rich to express our full process. But yet simple and focused, yielding lots of data that we don't normally see about ourselves. Agile Manifesto talks about uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it. I include A/B experimentation, relying on Bayesian statistics so that you can get answers earlier than the traditional methods. And with a GitHub Copilot experiment, I'll have to give you the results later. It was not as big of a difference as you might expect. Oh, there's the data. Outlier at the top. Many things we could experiment on: coffee, tea, Gleam, Livebook, unit tests, test first, test last. Finally, here's some links. Thank you.